Hey guys, welcome back to the Black Metal Rebellion. I'm your host Jesse Morgan, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the new album by Revenge Prevails called False Hope Cruelty. Man, I went to Pumpkinland this weekend and took the kids and wife out and did some fun stuff there. There's a bunch of hay and shit there too that I climbed on and dicked around on with the kids, and apparently my body doesn't like hay, so now I've got hay fever. So if I sniff or like cough or whatever during this review, I apologize. Anyways, if you haven't heard Revenge Prevails before, they are a blackened death metal band from Sweden. But holy shit, calling them a blackened death metal band doesn't do them proper service. They add so many cool different little things here and there throughout that to just label them blackened death metal is basically, I don't know. I feel it does them a little bit of a disservice considering how much intricate and variety of different elements they throw into this. But anyways, the members of Revenge Prevails are as follows: Joseph Svensson on lead vocals and guitar, Christopher Helleran on drums, Isabella Romer on bass, Ludwig Bjork on guitar and backup vocals. Speaking of vocals, they're for the most part very wet and throaty, definitely vicious and demonic at parts, very grim but still commanding. He sounds like he's just gonna rip your fucking face off. The lows have that kind of old school death metal feel. His highs are about a mid-range kind of highs. There's also quite a few snippets here and there of some clean vocals, but they're like haunting and very chesty kind of manly highs, so it's pretty cool. The vocals are performed consistently and performed well, and you briefly get some kind of creepy whispers and oddities like that in songs like Shapeshifter Dawn. Now for the guitars, it's a big guitar sound, punchy, solid tone. It has a really good production value sound to it. The guitarists, Joseph and Ludwig both have like an endless arsenal and supply of creative and colorful riffs. They got trems, they've got hooks, they've got insane chuggy riffs, and they've even got like fucking blackened breakdowns. It's insane, that's for sure. And then there's even like a solo kind of part in the song Habeas Corpus, which is very soulful, a soulful solo. But it's neat. It's not too wankery or technical. It does what it needs to do, creates a certain mood, and then the rest of the song follows nicely afterwards. But yeah, definitely check out the song Underworld for what I'm talking about with those blackened breakdowns. Pretty crazy stuff. So yeah, all in all, really good work with the vocals and guitar. Now Isabella on bass, she has a good presence throughout. She has kind of her own voice, not just on bass either. She also has a few tracks where she performs some vocals on, Wings of Wax and Bliss is a Hoax, for example. And her position on bass definitely wasn't wasted. She definitely takes the opportunity to shine here and there throughout the album. I think her bass might have a slight gain or distortion on it. Definitely does a great job, and you would certainly miss her if she was not on this album. As for the drums, it's great in the mix, very unique and ear-catching for sure. Christopher has some solid kicks, some solid double bass. He utilizes his cymbals really well. He has an excellent snare tone. His fills are both accurate and blistering at times. Like, I don't know how he goes through like some of the fills that he does so quickly and accurately, but damn, it's definitely something to check out and be appreciative of. And once again, when there is the breakdowns that happen, they're really like intense, really cool sounding, and he has like one of the sickest Chinas I've heard. It's gotta be a huge China. It's really sick sounding. But yeah, it's they add elements in there that definitely wouldn't be expected for a black and death metal band. Some of my favorite tracks on here, even though they all have really kind of unique parts that set them aside from all the other tracks and really give them a voice of their own, is the second track, Bliss is a Hoax. And then after that would be Shapeshifter Dawn, really good track, as well as number 3, which is Underworld, and that's the one that has like those blackened breakdowns that I definitely recommend you like sitting through and listening to see what I mean when I say stuff like that, because it's whenever I hear breakdown I think of deathcore, and it's not a deathcore type of breakdown, and there's no deathcore type of vocals, so it's definitely unique to black and death metal and to what Revenge Prevails does. Some of my overall thoughts on this is, if this album does not make you headbang, nothing will. Probably some of the most badass riffs that I've heard in years is contained within False Hope Cruelty. It's almost as if Satyricon Now Diabolical and Gorod's A New Dawn for the Dead had a baby, and then that was like unblessed with some like murder oil. That would be what False Hope Cruelty is for sure. Perhaps these guys could be like the new Belphegor, maybe even better at some parts during some of this album. And every time I think that, oh man, they must be running out of steam by now, nope, the next song comes crashing in and kicks my ass all over the place. And like I said, there's moments in this album that have like, what the fuck am I listening to, but like in the best way possible. Like, you're like, I thought I was listening to black and death metal, but then they have these other musical genre elements in there that they get stuck in but still have that kind of gloss of black and death metal over them, and it's really good. They add elements that have basically no business being in this genre, but still make it work beautifully. Now, if I have any gripes about this album, which are very few, it would be the album's a bit lengthy. There's 11 tracks plus a bonus track, I think, if you have the CD. There's only 11 tracks available on their Bandcamp, and they're all like at least 5 or 6 minutes plus in length, like 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes long. And that, 11 or 12 tracks, it can be like quite lengthy. You definitely want like to dig a part of your day out and set some time aside for this album if you're going to give it a shot. And some of the parts near the end, like tracks 9 to 11 or so, 8 to 11, kind of get samey, but once again, all the tracks in this album have unique parts throughout that kind of give it their own voice, give it their own feel, and kind of go, oh, okay, this is what separates this track from everything else that's come before or everything that's going to come. Other than that, I wouldn't say there's too much else that could be really done with this album that would improve it. I'm going to give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. So yeah, what would make it a perfect 10 would just be shorten it a little bit, trim off some of the fat, even though, like I said, tracks, like 9 through 11 or 8 through 11, or the bonus track, still have unique parts and they're still really good. It just seems by that point, you're kind of like, I don't know, it's not like you want to move on to something else, but I think by that time, they've said everything they need to say in that album. But yeah, still amazing. Still probably some of the best shit I've heard all year. Definitely going to be in my top, 10 or 20 if I do that thing at the end of the year. Make sure your ass checks out False Hope Cruelty by Revenge Prevails for sure. I'm Jesse Morgan, and I would buy this album. Cheers and thanks for watching.